Hello everyone, I'm Darren Magee, and today's topic is the first in a short series looking at the different aspects of psychopathy. Today, I'm going to focus on the parasitical nature of psychopaths, how they can take advantage of other people, of systems, of situations to extract some kind of personal gain. Now, whether that's emotional, financial, or maybe just some kind of power, but it's usually without them giving anything back. And you may see a lot of crossover with narcissism, and that's because quite often with psychopathy we also see other dark personality traits comorbid, traits such as narcissism. But there can also be Machiavellianism, which is being highly manipulative, and in some cases even sadism. So psychopaths have a tendency to exploit others for personal gain, and their behaviour mimics that of a parasite, in the sense that they live off the resources, the emotions and the efforts of others without contributing anything. There are two subtypes within the broader concept of psychopathy. There's type 1, known as primary psychopathy, and type 2, known as secondary psychopathy. And some of the differences include, with type 1 we generally see a lack of fear, a lack of anxiety, they're low in neuroticism, and they can have better impulse control, meaning they can be more calculated. Type 2 psychopaths can be more emotionally reactive. There's poor behavioral control, meaning they can act impulsively, make rash decisions, and there are higher levels of neuroticism. They can also struggle with longer term goals. But generally, psychopaths can be charismatic yet cold and without remorse. They view others as resources, tools to be used. They don't see people as equals, but rather as objects to be manipulated. They can also be opportunists, taking advantage of anything or anyone for their own benefit. Dr. Robert Hare, a leading expert on psychopathy, describes psychopaths as social predators who charm, manipulate, and ruthlessly plough their way through life. They can lie easily and convincingly. They can create elaborate stories to manipulate others into giving them what they want. Whether that's money, power, or influence, they use deceit to gain status or extract resources. But unlike what the movies portray, psychopathy isn't just limited to criminal behaviour. Many people with psychopathic traits succeed in organisations, they succeed in politics, corporate environments, where they can manipulate, take credit for other people's work, and make decisions, often without regard for ethical standards. Dr. Paul Babiak, an industrial psychologist, reports many successful corporate executives display psychopathic traits, and some of these corporate psychopaths can rise to power parasitically by using their charisma to take advantage of the efforts of their colleagues. Psychopaths see systems, relationships, social connections, whether personal or professional, as a means to an end, something to take advantage of. They can be charismatic and likable, and this can help them gain the trust of others. They then exploit that trust. They create relationships with people they see as useful. They latch on to individuals who can provide them with resources, draining them of their energy, time, or money. And although they lack empathy, psychopaths can be really good at reading people. They can pick very quickly what kind of people they want, what it is they need. They can pick up on people's vulnerabilities and can be very convincing. In some ways, they make really good salespeople. But typically, they target those they can exploit. Psychopaths are skilled at identifying people who are emotionally vulnerable, lonely, or insecure. And these individuals are more likely to overlook red flags and warning signs. But once a psychopath has attached themselves to someone, they will take as much as they can without any concern for the other person's well-being. And this could include borrowing money they never intend to repay, living off their resources, their hard work, or constantly demanding emotional support without ever giving anything in return. In personal relationships, this can leave their victims emotionally exhausted and sometimes financially drained. In professional relationships, it can leave entire organizations in chaos and the people demoralized. And as a parasite will move from one host to the next, psychopaths can move from one victim to the next. Because people are only tools or resources that benefit them, they can just dump someone if they're no longer useful. When exposed, or if something or someone better comes along, just like a parasite, they can just leave and attach themselves to the new host, often leaving destruction in their wake. Now, a parasite might depend on their host, but they don't really care about them. They don't care about the harm they cause or the strain they put them under. They don't care if their actions hurt others. In fact, the inability to feel guilt or remorse allows them to continue taking advantage of others without the burden of conscience. They can con people into doing things for them, giving them things, using their charisma, their superficial charm, overconfidence, or by pretending it's for the greater good. Many psychopaths are opportunists, and because of their deceptive nature, they can be good at making it difficult for people to even realize they're being exploited until it's too late. They can take over groups, organizations, form cults by exploiting other people's weaknesses, garnering sympathy, creating conflict and outrage, and destroying the credibility, reputation, even the careers of anyone who opposes them. Now, looking at it from the outside, their actions are cold, unethical, and sometimes even fly in the face of common sense. But to those who have been love bombed, manipulated, conned, those who have experienced extreme long-term high-level gaslighting, well, the psychopath has the answers. It's everyone else who is wrong. Highly skilled psychopaths can be very good at brainwashing, and you don't notice it until it's too late. So to summarize, like parasites, psychopaths take and exploit without giving back, and they often leave a trail of harm in their wake. They can be highly skilled at hiding their true nature and their true intent. They gain power and resources through exploitation and deceit, and their lack of empathy and lack of conscience allows them to continue to use others for their own benefit without the fear of facing consequences. And then they just dump them and move on to someone else whenever their victim has been depleted. And like a parasite that can avoid detection by the immune system, many people, groups, organizations, and movements don't realize what's happening until it's too late. So that's a brief outline of the parasitical nature of psychopaths. If there's anything I've missed, anything you might like to add, please use the comment section. There are some interesting conversations start from these videos. But I will add the research I looked at in the description of this video. And if you found this topic to be interesting, please consider subscribing, and until next time, thanks for watching.